Real quick, one of my kids was just complaining about the coach. My youngest one, because he's the only one still in high school playing, he's like, I want to play more minutes. I think I should play more minutes. And I said, well, what do you want me to do about that? You know, was my answer. And he says, well, you should call the coach. I said, that will not happen.
Good.
That will not. If you earned it, go earn it. I said, I've yet to meet a coach that wants to lose. And trust me, if you do the right things, minutes go up. And I think that's sometimes what they need to hear instead of hearing you're right. I'll call him. He is doing you an injustice. I think kids need to learn how to fight for it. And you can do that in a positive way. I support you. Spence, I know you can play. You just got to keep playing. You got to keep working at it.
I remember when I was in high school and I didn't feel like I was getting the playing time I deserved. And I remember I was feeling all aggrieved and I wanted my dad to talk to the coach. And my dad said something to me really important. He said, are you doing everything that you can to earn playing time? And I said, well, what do you mean? He said, do you show up early? Are you staying after? Are you doing extra fitness before school? Are you working harder than everyone else in training? And he said, and I was like, well, no. He said, I'll tell you what, if you start doing all those things and you're still not getting to play, then maybe I'll have a conversation with your coach. But until that moment, you have to do everything within your control to earn your own playing time. You have to have a relationship with your coach to earn your own playing time. And if you've done all those things and you still feel like that this isn't a good situation, well then maybe I'll help you have an additional conversation.
Ouch. Painful issue. Probably the biggest issue for most athletes. The first thing that I would say to athletes is your job is to play your role on the team to the very best of your ability. And the coach assigns the role. You might not be a starter, you may be a support player, you may be, a role player. You don't have to like it, and most athletes don't. But for a team to be successful, for a team to win, you have to play your role to the very best of your ability. Personal experience with that, I worked very closely with the UConn men's soccer program for a number of years. And the year we won the national championship, there were 25 guys on the squad. And during the NCAA tournament, UConn was only allowed to dress 18. So the entire tournament, 7 guys sat in street clothes in the stands. When we went to the College Cup, the Final Four in men's soccer, they sat in the stands with me. There was no chance they were going to get in the games. And every one of those players, interestingly enough, could have started for just about any Division I program, but they chose to come to UConn. These guys won a national championship, and I think because the role players did their job. Their job was to push the starters absolutely as hard as they possibly could. Athletes need to learn, and this is easier said than done, to channel their disappointment and frustration and sometimes bitterness into getting better, into working harder, into being focused on what can you do to improve, what can you do to help the team. It does the team no good, it does the athlete no good if they wallow in the bitterness of, I'm not playing and I'm so much better than so-and-so. Another piece of advice I like to give athletes is talk to the coach. It's reasonable, it's a reasonable thing to do, but one needs to do it in the right spirit. And the right spirit isn't going to the coach and complaining. What can I do to get more playing time? I want to make a contribution to this team. I want to kind of help the team even more. What do you think I can do to get better? Coaches like that. They like motivated athletes. They like athletes who work hard. And I think maybe the final piece of advice I have for athletes around this issue, the playing time issue, is playing time is an uncontrollable. Okay, what's an uncontrollable? It's something that's directly out of your control. And you can work hard and you can do everything you want to, but whether you get on the field, on the court, whether you get to start. That's the coach's decision. You don't want to waste energy. You don't want to burn your energy.
I tell players all the time, if they know why they play and don't play. It's not potluck every day. They know because I tell them. If they're not playing and they pout, their chances of playing becomes less and less. If they grow, then they're putting unbelievable pressure on me to manage a moment. It's easy for me to handle pouting. It's really hard for me to handle guys that are committed to doing things that I'm asking them to do, because then I have to play them. So that means I've got to manage things differently. But when they pout or they blame, they made my job easy. I'm the most animated coach that you've probably ever seen when my team's playing. I go watch my kids play. I don't say boo. I don't wave my arms. I don't try to coach my kids. Do you think they really care what fourth grade team wins? Do you really think that they sat at home and said, I can't wait to officiate that game tomorrow because that one team, I can't wait to get that 10-year-old kid and embarrass him in front of people? Do you really think that's what they're doing? I don't try to tell my kid how they should play. You know what I tell my two boys when they come ask me, Dad, why are you asking me, man? I didn't run your practice. Go talk to your coach. But don't talk about your coach in front of me, man. Because if you are, then you're not playing basketball. You don't understand why you didn't play better? Go talk to your coach. I'm not your coach. I'm your dad. I do this for a living, man. I'm not going to criticize the guy that's trying to help you. Criticizing every decision the coach makes, yelling at the kids like the kids, they're 10 years old, man. Like if they were LeBron James and Dwayne Wade playing in the NBA Finals, like they know how to handle their coach over here and their parent over here yelling at them. Then we wonder why kids get confused, man, why kids rebel, why kids don't know how to listen. How can you listen when you got so many voices in your head at the same time? You know what life teaches you? Shut things off. And that's the part that's frustrating to me. It's if someone wants to be so animated when there's a basketball game going on, then go coach the team. Go run practices. Show up every day at 6 o'clock at night and run an hour and a half practice. And then you got your team to coach. Or be an assistant coach. Sit on the bench. Yell all you want. I don't care if people on the bench yell at my kids. I got two boys. If they don't deal with my children, my children won't be on their team. My child acts up or doesn't do things the way that they're expected to do things by them, not me. And they let it happen, I'm taking my son off the team. I want my son to be challenged. Both of my boys, I want them to grow up. I want them to understand what life's about. But that's the part that's sad, man.